What's going on, Trojan family? Welcome back to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB network. We are Los Angeles Sports. This is your daily dose of USC Trojans news. Not going to do recruiting today. I want to talk about QB1, Jayden Maiava, and my excitement for him for this season and why. But first, new sponsor for the show. Today's show brought to you by our friends over at ZipRecruiter. Finding great candidates to hire can be like trying to find a needle in the haystack. You get too many resumes and not enough candidates with the right skills or experience. I've even done this here at LAFB, looking for the right content and talent creators, and a slew of resumes come in. It's hard to weed through those, if you will. ZipRecruiter helps with that. They find amazing candidates just for you and fast. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Ditch the other hiring sites and let ZipRecruiter find what you're looking for, the needle in the haystack. 4 out of 5 employees who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it for free at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. All right, now that the Bills are out of the way, let's talk Jayden Maiava. We had the opportunity as the media yesterday to attend an open scrimmage, an open practice at the Coliseum. Got to hang out there, watch from the press box, but it's just for observation. So unfortunately, I cannot report anything or give any insight or personnel groupings or anything like that. So I will not be doing that, but I just want to talk about Maiava from kind of what I've seen all through camp, kind of the growth, some of the other statistics out there, and why I truly believe he is in for a big season this year, because I think he's the one piece, him and the offensive line, that are kind of the two dominoes that the fan base, for the most part, and reporters are really like, I don't know what we're going to get. And the season really hinges on that, right? I think we all think the defense has a lot more depth this year. We saw the improvement last year. I think we think there's going to be even more improvement this year. So there's a lot of excitement, a lot of trust in Dantlin and that. When you look at the receiving core and the return, obviously, of Lemon and Lane, plus the additions they've added there, plus the tight end room, I think we have a lot of trust in that receiving room. When you look at the running back room, in the three-headed attack of Wayman Jordan, of Eli Sanders, of Brian Jackson, I think we think this could be one of the great running back rooms that we've seen here at USC in the Lincoln Riley era. And he's had good running backs. So I think they can just build upon that. I think when you look at the offensive line, I'll do another episode fully on the offensive line, I think, but I am maybe a little more bullish than others on the offensive line. Obviously, if DJ Wingfield, which we should have a result Monday or Tuesday of next week of what that actually, if he will play. 2 months ago, a month ago, felt like it was a no-brainer. Like his case fell in line, in my opinion, with what constitutes getting that extra year. I don't feel confident anymore. So I have been preparing like he will not be eligible to play. And so the line will be without him. So if it comes back in his favor Monday or Tuesday, then, hey, that's a cherry on top. Now you get this experienced vet to play actual guard for you. Without him, though, I still feel pretty good about the depth. The question is the inexperience. I think you have a lot of quality players, a lot of great size, a lot of talent. The question comes down to that lack of experience. Is that going to nip them in the bud? And we'll see, similar to last year, where the offensive line really hurt the development of not just the quarterback play, but also the entire offense moving. I don't think that will be a big of an issue. Part of that being they have a ramp up in the schedule. They're not opening with LSU. They're not going to the big house in week 3. Like, they get to kind of build together the first 3, 4, 5 weeks until they host Michigan at the Collie. So I think that will give them time to work out some kinks, but I'll talk more offensive line later. So Jayden Maiava, I believe, is going to have a great season. It's just all there for him. I mean, we've talked a ton about the arm talent. Elite arm talent. I don't care what anyone. I don't know if anyone has said he hasn't had that, but I think when there's talk of quarterbacks and ceiling, like his ceiling should be as high as anyone because of the athleticism, because of the size, and because of the arm talent. I don't think that gets talked about enough. You hear other quarterbacks, specifically in the Big Ten, and they talk about like, oh yeah, but the ceiling. I mean, just look at some of the guys that haven't played yet. In Bryce Underwood, in Julian Sayin at Ohio State, in Dante Moore, played freshman year at UCLA, but then sat a year at Oregon. They all talk about the ceiling of those guys being great, but they don't talk about the ceiling of Jayden Maiava being great. At least I don't hear it as much. Maybe some do. But I think his ceiling is as high as anyone in the entire Big Ten. I've talked about it before, but you think about freshman of the year in the Mountain West. Now, I know that's a go-go offense. It's UNLV. I know the touchdown-interception ratio still wasn't great, but he was a true freshman leading an offense, and he won Freshman of the Year. Something to be said for that. Then fast forward to his time with USC. Comes in, transfers in December, late December. It was the first transfer portal window. Comes in, obviously in the spring, competes with Miller Moss. In the fall, competes with Miller Moss. Wasn't quite ready yet. Miller Moss won that job as he should have at that time. We all know how the season went. They get a bye week. They decide to make the move to Jayden Maiava. First game against Nebraska at the Collie. You could see in that game, like it was very clear, like, okay, this guy has intangibles that Miller Moss does not. This guy has, the ball just pops off of his arm. You could see the athleticism he could bring to aid in the run game or keeping defense honest. But you could also see in some of the decision-making, and he got away with a bunch in that Nebraska game, that he was not ready yet. And you can see why he was not the starter going into that year and why it was Miller Moss. He needed more time in the system. He needed more time to develop. He needed more time to learn the playbook, to get chemistry, to learn behind the offensive line with his running backs, with his receivers. You could see that as the 4 games progressed, still needed a little bit more time. That's always been our question on it, right? Like, what's going to be the decision-making between the ears on the football field? Now he's had an entire offseason as essentially being QB1. Obviously, Hussam Longstreak, I think, has pushed him. I think Hussam Longstreak has looked fantastic as a true freshman, being there since spring. And the future is very bright for USC and Hussam Longstreak. But I think that's only made Jayden Maiava better, and I think he has the ability to truly be the best quarterback in the Big Ten. Now, everyone can make rankings. Odds makers tend to know a lot, right? Vegas, offshore, whatever. The odds makers tend to have a pretty good grasp on how these things go. A lot more so than talking heads and media individuals. As much as maybe if I'm in that bunch, as much as we may not like to admit it, usually the odds makers have it down a lot more than some Big Ten podcaster talking about who they think the best quarterbacks are. And all those podcasters and ESPN analysts and all that have always lumped Jayden Maiava in the middle, 6, 7, 8. That's where they always put him. I think I did a ranking show a month or so ago. I had him 3rd. I had Fernando Mendoza as number 1. I think a lot of people are sleeping on him, what he did at Cal, and now being in that offense at Indiana. I think he's going to be very good. Drew Aller, just because of the pedigree, because of the recruiting prowess, the talent, being at Penn State, being a multiple-year starter. I had him 2, and then I had Jayden Maiava at 3. Well, when you look at the odds makers, and we'll go specifically betonline.ag, which is one of the leaders out there, Big Ten passing yards, Jayden Maiava is number 1. He is the favorite to lead the Big Ten in passing yards. Tied in second is Dante Moore and Julian Sayin. 3rd, Fernando Mendoza. Drew Aller they have in 7th, plus 1,600 to lead the Big Ten in passing. Nico Iamaleava in 8th, plus 2,200. I won't bore you with all the rest, but Jayden Maiava first from the odds makers to lead the Big Ten in passing. Now, that's a loaded stat. That doesn't mean he's necessarily the best quarterback in the Big Ten. That doesn't mean the USC Trojans are winning the Big Ten just because he's leading in passing yards. But that is a little look behind the curtain about what maybe others out there view his ceiling as being, and others being the odds makers that have been doing this for, they care about the money, right? So they don't want all of us in LA being like, yeah, we believe in Jayden Maiava and all putting money on him, and he's got low odds, meaning big returns. They're caring about their pocketbooks. So I'm really excited about Maiava. Everything I've seen, what I've been able to watch in camp and what I'm allowed to report on, you can see the accuracy. I think the leadership is growing more and more. I think that's a question that has come up a lot after practice, and he's a different guy. Like, you could not probably have more polar opposites from Caleb Williams to Jayden Maiava, just in their style, and Jayden Maiava being much more quiet, much more kind of, he's talked about meditating, keeps to himself. I'm not saying like Caleb Williams is some like yeller or anything like that, but I think he was a much more vocal leader. We saw that during his time at USC. Maiava is not that. He's a much more quiet exterior. He's going to try to lead by example, but he has been growing in that, and Coach Sheward has talked about it a bunch. Coach Riley has talked about it, about how the maturation of him as a leader has progressed in his ability to vocalize things to the team. And you can see times at practice him pulling side guys, talking about like, hey, this route should have been more tapered off at the top, should have been more cut down below. And so that leadership is crucial through an entire, obviously, college football season. The biggest thing for him, obviously, the obvious thing is the decision-making, right? But who he is as a quarterback is going to be a bit more of a gunslinger than other quarterbacks. He's going to have that mentality of like, I think I can fit this in this window. Sometimes that's going to bite you. It's just the way it's going to be. I don't see a season where he has 30 touchdowns and 3 picks. I don't see it. As long as those picks aren't like pick sixes and critical ones, I'm okay with him having 25, 27 touchdowns and 8, 9, 10 picks. I know that sounds crazy, but I just think that's the style of quarterback he is. Now, 10, we're pushing it. It needs to be more in that like 5, 6, 7 range, but like it wouldn't shock me if he has like 9 interceptions on the season, but has 30 plus touchdowns or so. Because that's just the style of quarterback he is. The key is that those 9 interceptions, like I just mentioned, are not back-breaking interceptions at the end of games, in red zone opportunities that flip the field or that are turned into pick sixes. That's where then it's like, okay, you cannot have this. But if it's playing aggressive within the system, and that's just who he is, and sometimes it's going to bite you, I can live with that. It's what made John Elway great. It's what made some of these great Brett Favre, these great gunslinging quarterbacks great, is they're going to take that risk. Sometimes it's going to bite them as long as it's not critical moments. So I say all that to say, when that does inevitably happen, how does he respond? Do we see him hang his head? Do we see him beat himself up? He has, I don't know if I've reported on it, but he has been known for being very hard on himself. And does that take him out of games? Or is he able to get that new mentality with this offseason, with a lot of the maturation, where it's, hey, that's a single play, my bad, I got to be better, let's move on? Are we seeing Texas A&M's second half, Jayden Maiava? Like, hey, I had a brutal first half, 3 picks. I'll just go out and throw 4 touchdowns and lead us to a game-winning drive in the final 2 minutes. Because if we see that, after any mistake, that mentality, dude's the best quarterback in the Big Ten. Like, I feel good saying that now. I've been trying to be more reserved and not sound like a homer. But from what I've seen at camp, from what I've heard, I truly believe he can be the best in the Big Ten. Because think of the competition. Everyone I just laid out, there's a lot of hopefuls. Until I see it, I'm not putting Bryce Underwood top. I'm not putting Julian Sayin top. I'm putting Dante Moore top. I still think Fernando Mendoza's a lot better than people are getting credit for. I think the kid at Illinois has a lot of experience and a talented kid. Drew Aller is Drew Aller, but I don't think he's, in my opinion, an elite quarterback. I think he can be very good. I think Maiava can be the best in the Big Ten. Will he be? That's the question that we'll answer coming here in just 2 weeks. We are 14 days away, Jayden Maiava days away from college football kicking off, from the USC Trojans kicking off their season. I'm fired up. I hope you're fired up. So all I'll say about that open scrimmage is it just got me more fired up. Watching real football, watching hitting, watching the passion. Cannot wait to be at the Collie with all of you guys, hanging out, watching the Trojans. So let me know what you guys think. What's your thoughts on Jayden Maiava? I know it's a polarizing topic. We're 2 weeks away, so we don't have to talk about that too much more. We'll actually get to see it unfold. But comment below. I mean, do you think Maiava can be the best quarterback in the Big Ten? Are the odds makers having it right? Are we too high on him because we cover the team or we're fans of the team? Or does he have the ability to really be that guy, that breakout guy, that Jayden Daniels in his first year with LSU, that Cam Ward in his first year with Miami? They went from relatively unknown to top 5 NFL draft pick, Heisman winner, Heisman runner-up in Cam Ward. Can Maiava make that leap? I think he can. And we'll see it all play out. And part of that is because Husan Longstreet is pushing him a lot, which is great. Iron sharpens iron, right? Competition breeds greatness. And that's what we want to see. So thank you, as always, guys, for hanging out with me. It's a beautiful Saturday here in the Southland. Hopefully everyone enjoys your weekend. We will be back, or I'll probably be back on Monday. Tuesday at the latest, I'll have another video up. And then for sure Wednesday, 7 p.m., myself, Tim Prangley, Call-In Show, plus Madman and the coach, putting kind of plenty of content out as well. So we're trying to get round the clock USC Trojans content. Make sure to check out LAFBnetwork.com for all your USC editorial needs, plus our brand new message board. It's brand new, so it's if you go there, it's pretty empty. No one's really commented, but it's fun. It's interactive. We got a live chat during games. We'll have live score updates and chats there. Obviously, a standard kind of message board where we'll drop updates and recruiting news for sure. It's all free, not behind a paywall. Don't have to do any of that. So go check that out. You just basically have to, sign up like you would with anything just to create an account so you can use it. So yeah, check that out. Also, I'll just say we have launched community memberships on LFB Network. It's just a way to help support us and help us keep the website free. So we have different packages. You go to lfbnetwork.com/subscribe. And part of your subscription, as I've said before, is going to go to help youth sports initiatives right here in Los Angeles. One of the ones we're working with is LA Best, who actually, if you guys do know, Anthony Beavers has partnered with them. He was a part of the program back when he was a kid in LA, and now he has helped with the program and promoting and whatnot, and so we want to help with that too. So part of your subscription every month goes to programs like LA Best, plus you'll get discounts on merch, plus tailgate and event perks, a lot of different stuff if you join our community and become part of the LAFB and become an LAFB lifer. So help support us. We certainly appreciate it. But thank you, as always, at minimum, for hanging out with me and tuning into the show and making it the best it possibly can be. So everyone enjoy your weekend. As always, fight on.